Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. So I have 3 decks for today. I am going to be using this beautiful Lucid Dreams Tarot once more, as well as the Feminine Wisdom Oracle and the Life Purpose Oracle Card Guidebook, the Dorian Virtue book. All right, so we're going to jump right in and check in and see what messages Spirit has today. My hair has been non-cooperative. Okay, so jumping out right away, we have perseverance, resistance in the 9 of Wands. So I'm going to bring this in as close as I can to get it to focus. And let's see what else we have here. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, sensible, luxurious, caring, good business sense, and a working parent or homebody. Okay, I'm just reading off the actual card definitions on the top, but I'm kind of hovering so you can see the full extent of that card. And then as well as the Hermit, introspect, inward spiritual journey, soul searching, being alone, inner guidance. So I'm getting the inner guidance as the main message with the Hermit card. So this could be a message of perseverance in the area of your stability. So this could be talking about money, or this could be talking about something else that allows you to feel safe and stable and grounded. I'm getting first chakra energy, which is that connection to the earth, that connection to the earthly realms. So this is an earthly issue, something a bit more practical. Again, the Queen of Pentacles is nothing if not practical. She's the energy that helps you deal with I'm going to say paying rent, buying groceries, buying the right laundry detergent. This is how I think of this card, mostly because um, it's those really, really practical things like, oh, I need to go buy more tissues, or I need the money to get new tires on my car. Like, these are the types of things that I'm talking about with this card. And there's something here with intuitive kind of ponderings, introspectiveness, and this perseverance card. So this feels like a first chakra reading that's just helping lead us where we need to go. Um, Understanding that a lot of people are having financial issues right now. With the cost of everything skyrocketing, I feel like there's more and more issues with getting those practical needs met in the world. And that is not a judgment. That is just sort of acknowledging, I'm sorry, my hair drives me bonkers. Uh, things change, right? Things have changed in the game. It's not as easy to make ends meet. And me being a practical reader, I'm going to say those things, right? This feels heavy. Like, I'm sighing out this energy going, oh boy, like this is that energy. So someone's probably worried about money. Someone's probably worried about how they're going to pay their rent. Someone's probably worried about how they're going to get those new tires on their car. These are the issues that are coming through with this reading. But the 9 of Wands card is the perseverance card, and it's always kind of depicted as someone kind of like going up, 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 and getting through the rungs of difficulty to success at the top. Like, you're going to get through this. Okay, teaching. You inspire young people to learn. This could just be a card of lessons and learning, and maybe helping other people that have maybe been in this position. Maybe you're not in this position anymore, but you are someone who is teaching other people how to move through these kinds of issues. Energy healing. Your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. Okay. So this definitely comes through as some sort of lesson in abundance, some sort of first chakra lesson that you are healing and learning in this time of your life. And we're going to get some feminine wisdom. intuition, gut feeling, and inner voice. Joy, release. Again, I think this one is okay because she's covering all the things. Okay. Um, this definitely reads like a very practical issue. Okay. 5 of Wands. All right. Challenges, obstacles, tension. Let's double down and clarify about what, Spirit? Whoop. About manifestations, financial opportunities. Yeah, a gift. So this is really reading like someone has abundance flowing into them or that's about to flow into them. And sorry. And this is about a need to pause, release, reflect, and allow the energy of a situation to lead, the energy of abundance to lead this situation. So, this centered around joy feels very important. And obviously, you can't properly manifest anything if you're in a state of fear, if you're in a state of lack, if you're frustrated, if you're angry. Um, the intuition here can also bring messages through receiving. And I hear being a proper receiver. And when I say proper, I don't mean, do things a certain way, prim and proper. I mean, understanding what the vibrational frequency feels like to be in abundance versus lack. And there is a deep sense of releasing tension here around what that feels like. So this feels to me like maybe you don't have enough money to put 4 new tires on your car, which is very expensive, but you might have $20 to go out and buy yourself something that makes you happy, right? That puts you in a sense and a mood of joy. And so go thrifting, go buy yourself a coffee, and just come into this space of being appreciative for something small, a moment where you can release this kind of worry and burden about the big thing, right? And you can just focus on the joy of, I'm enjoying this moment right now. This is putting me into an energy of gratitude. And from that energy of gratitude, I'm going to become like a beacon for all that wants to find me, all those beautiful things that I know are coming for me. This feels like someone who understands these principles, but they have some trouble enacting them. And I am most assuredly guilty of this myself, right? There are times when you can feel abundant, and then there are times when it's really hard to feel abundant because you notice the things around you that are lacking, okay? Um, but this feels like something that is planned and destined in your soul path as far as a lesson that you're here to overcome and learn and transmute with energy. Okay. This, in truth, does not feel like a solution that is going to be figured out through practical means. Even though it's about something practical, I do not believe that this will be truly healed and solved through practical means because it's not a 3-dimensional problem. Okay. It's a lesson in using your energy to move things around. So, this is someone who has moved out of the realm of the 3D and they're being, we'll call it tested in the 5D. Some people don't like that word because it is a little triggering. But this feels like someone who is being called to trust that this will be moved through for them if their energy remains in a state of receptivity. And I feel like there's a lot of internal conflict around that. There's a lot of internal worry. There's a lot of internal concern. Because again, think about it like this. If you have always done things to fix problems in the 3D, that's how you've always done that. You've mastered that part of your schooling. You know how to fix things in the 3D. You know how to get off your own keister and make things happen and make things flow. But the first time you're using energy to move these things, it feels way more bizarre because you're not doing things physically, you're doing things energetically. So this is like someone needing $1,000 for tires on their car, but really they're manifesting $500,000. Okay. And so you're not manifesting the small amount that you need for this next problem before something else comes up. This feels like someone who's moving towards the large thing, the big thing. And I will admit, I think that money and manifestation is probably one of the harder lessons here on earth because we're so pulled into the money system, which is a system that was not created by us for us. This was It was created as a form of control. Understand that. So basically, this is alchemy. We're learning how to use something that has oppressed us to heal ourselves and move past the physical form into non-physical while still in a physical human body. I think a lot of people kind of roll their eyes at money manifestation, but understand that there are things that have been predetermined when you come into this life, and those are the lessons that you're learning, and the way they show up, and the finalized details of how it fleshes out in the physical will always be things that happen moment to moment, right? There's a bajillion choices in the moment that people are making, us and those around us, that change how this comes into form. But this lesson is taking those energies from non physical to physical without all of the efforting that we're used to in the physical. This is really hard for people because we're so locked into, if you want to make something happen, you have to make it happen yourself. And I'll give the example of my cat. When I moved the second time, she got out, and I don't have a collar on her because the breakaway collars always come off on her anyway. I had a tighter collar on her with an air tag, and that was irritating her skin, caused a really big rash. So she doesn't have any form of identification. I don't have her chipped. She got out a couple days after I got here, and I'm gonna say it was like 6 weeks that passed, and everyone around here was like, "Oh my gosh, your cat's probably deceased at this point. We're very sorry, but something probably got your cat." Not understanding that my cat is quite the huntress herself. She is a formidable, formidable huntress. Um, all that to say, I knew, and I was tapping into my intuitive softness. I knew that she was coming back. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, and I kept asking Spirit, like, do I need to put out flyers? Do I need to like really actively hunt this cat down? I feel like I'm not being a good, pet parent. And I just kept hearing, like, she will come to you with no effort from you, none. 6 weeks later, again, not the ideal time frame, right? Because you are worried that whole time. You're like, what's happened to my cat? Is she okay? Is she now an outdoor cat? Did she go live on another farm somewhere? As long as she's happy, I don't really care. I just wanted to know she was okay. I got a knock on the door from a woman who lives just down the road a little bit, and I thought she was looking for my neighbors. And she said, I'm looking for you. I've never met this woman. And I'm like, oh, okay. Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm your neighbor. And she's like, do you have a cat that's gray and white? And I'm like, yeah, that's my cat. She's been gone for 6 weeks. I just moved in. She ran away. And she said, well, I found her. She's been at our house for like weeks now. And she's killing all our little critters and birds. Do you want her back? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So I gave her the cat carrier. I said, do you want me to go with you? And she's like, no, 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 it'll be fine. It'll probably be 5 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes later, she shows back up. She gives me the cat. She opens up the cat door, and the cat's out in the house. And the cat had never been here in the house all put together. Like, she literally got loose as I was unpacking. So everything was totally different in this house. So it took her 3 days to acclimate and to reestablish a relationship with my dog. But the point of this story is I did nothing. And I was specifically guided to do nothing. And I was very worried, like, no, should I? I'll go do. No, this feels like that, but in the realm of finances. So I think this is a very special, very specific message for somebody who is going through something and they're being encouraged to stay receptive and hold on to the faith that this lesson, though a very hard one, will be very, very earned victory. Again, there's a lot of nuance. Okay, so 8 of Cups came out. Moving on, unfulfilled with the current situation, walking into the unknown and letting go. So this is a deep card of surrender. What people always explain this card as is like walking away from something, but it's also what you're walking towards in equal measure. The 8 of Cups is you're walking into you don't know. Okay? This is something you've never done before. If you're someone who always puts forth a crap ton of effort, this is new for you. Sitting still and receiving, very, very uncomfortable. Let me clarify that 8 of Cups card for just a little bit more depth. Okay, we're going to read all three. The Devil came out, and the Empress card came out, and the Hanged Man card. Okay, so this is really big energy that's being transmuted because of the fact that we have 3 major arcanas coming out. Okay, so attachment. Aha. Okay. So we're going to use the definition here of the Devil card as like an obsession. And it's an unhealthy obsession, but I'm going to say this is you being tapped into the traditional thought forms of money. And as you can see, you know, what's really illuminated there in the gold, it's the chains that are binding the, you know, the devil and the beings behind them. You could actually look at this as the monetary system itself, that we're all chained into it. And we all think like, oh, we have to trade our time for money, or oh, we have to do, you know, XYZ to even be worthy of getting this amount of money, when that's not really the truth. It's truly not the truth. And once you tap into the realization of the energy behind these things and you think differently about how you receive, it breaks these chains. So the Empress card here is this, I think it's speaking of the actual idea of money here, or material wealth, and the obsession of what that needs to look like. And the Hangman card is putting yourself, so this is really beautiful. I'm going to look at this and oversimplify this and say this is obsession with the material, obsession with the 3D way of dealing with, I need money, I need to go out and work super duper hard. Whereas you're putting yourself in a different position. The Hanged Man card is upside down by his own hand. Okay? He did this to himself. He or she did this to themselves, put themselves in this position on purpose. And I think that you put yourself in a position to be here at this moment in time as a lesson for yourself on how to not lean on the traditional systems of money, um, and the traditional ways of bringing physical into being. We are creator energies that are actually creating from non physical to physical. That's what we did. We were in non physical, we came down to physical. And believe it or not, this is a gift to be in a body, because there are a lot of souls that want to be here right now. And I've read that a couple of times, I've heard that a couple of times. I actually had to sit and meditate on that because it didn't really make much sense to me. I'm like, sometimes being in a body feels like a prison. It depends on what your lessons are in this life. What is life trying to teach you? What did you choose to learn here? And some people have difficulties with health and their body. And I already know that is not my main lesson. But I think that we have some like really big main lessons that we're learning. And worthiness is a huge one. But understanding that relationship from non-physical to physical is huge, huge, huge. And so, in this regard, this is about the physical manifestation of money. There could be the physical manifestation of a loving relationship, or other things in life that you want to create, opportunities that you want. There's so many things you can want to manifest, but I feel like this is specifically money and your relationship to it and the way that you bring it into form. This could be a reading for workaholics who are going to learn how to actually sit back and receive instead of go bust your hump to make that money. And trust me, that's the way I was raised. Work hard and you'll get money. And it has become increasingly clear over the years that the harder you work does not equate more money. Hi, hello. I'm a creative gig worker. You can work your patoot off and still not make, you know, a fair wage. Okay? That's the truth of it, in the system. But that's, again, that's the system that kind of has you chained up here. So there is something here about learning a new way. So this says surrender, pause, letting go, waiting, new perspectives, wisdom, self sacrifice, uncertainty. So this is like, I'm not sure how this is going to come in for me. I'm not sure how these things are going to manifest for me, but I know that they are. And that speaks to the Hermit card, because you are kind of withdrawing from society a little bit to make this happen for yourself. So this feels like you're birthing something new and you're bringing it into being. And I'm going to tell you, pardon me, I'm going to tell you that before I moved the second time, I got very quiet. I was very focused on packing, and I kind of did not talk to many people because I was so confused and slightly crazed at, like, why am I moving again? Why am I being called to do this? People were saying, this isn't, I don't know how this is going to work out for you. And it did. It worked out at the final hour. I have no idea how it happened other than I brought that into being. It all worked out just fine. Like, it was lovely. Um, and even now I look at how fast it happened. And I think that's what we're looking at, like how fast and how perfect a manifestation can come in for you if you are in receiving mode, if you are in gratitude. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave this message here. It feels complete. The thing that really comes forth is the joy card. That when you are in a joyful energy, so much more can flow to you. And that's really hard when you're looking at a physical lack that does exist and you're kind of being a little delusional about, like, everything's going to be okay, everything's going to work out. And I read a meme today that was something like, I don't know why you're worrying so much for someone who always figures it out. And that's where I say the people that are watching this right now have been through enough shit in their life that they've come out the other side of. And some of it you did have to work hard for. Others of it did almost come through as like a miraculous gift, right? And I think we're at the point in this journey, the people watching this, that we are manifesting a receiving of things that feel almost too good to be true, but they are manifesting, they are coming through. And I cannot talk to you about timing because this is the part that I need to, I want to end with this portion of the message and just say timing is not just about you. Okay, everyone says, oh, it'll come in exactly when you're ready. That's not even true. I have been so ready for certain things to come through, to pop off, and they have not. And I think for me, there's a little lesson here in like keeping the faith through like a lot of difficulty and a lot of um, testing of my own intuition. But that's part of my lesson of like really truly hanging in there and trusting yourself, even when it does not look okay externally. Um, but all that to say, I think there is a message here of learning to trust yourself, whatever you're feeling, whatever little nudges or little actions you feel called to take. Maybe you do feel called to apply for a new job, or maybe you do feel called to go buy a scratch off ticket. I don't know, but there is many different ways in which you can be inspired to do something. But the hardest, I think, of these lessons are when you're not feeling inspired to do anything. You're tapped in, you're paying attention, and spirit is just like, just wait, do nothing, just chill. We got this. And you put yourself here in this place of really surrendering to Big Daddy Universe to provide you what you need. Okay? So let the universe be your sugar daddy. Okay? Because that's what I'm getting here. That is my lesson for this message for my listeners, is that the universe wants to be your sugar daddy. So let it come into a deep understanding and awareness that you are allowed to get what you need without working your butt off for it, because you're in alignment, and the universe says, here, have all you need and more. That is truly how it works. And people get this confused because people who are not the best humans in the whole wide world, we'll put it that way, can manifest what they want, can have all the money in the world, keep getting richer, keep getting richer, keep getting richer. And you're very confused because you're like, I know all these wonderful people who are like loving and work hard, and they don't have half this stuff. A lot of it's mindset, because we're creative beings, and everything within our thought form field is bringing non-physical into physical every moment. And these people that have apparently mastered this keep gaining more and more and more. And the truth is, we're just as capable of that. Okay? Just as capable. It's just that it feels like moving through this energy. And this energy is dark and scary and creepy. But I feel like it's moving through this because we're here. And then we're using this as a tool. Okay, the joy is a tool to actually get us here, which is the manifestation showing up. Bloop! The coin just fell from the sky into her hands, and she was like, whoa, okay, that's cool. Wasn't expecting that. I mean, I was, but like not at this second, but okay. This is the manifestation, the moment it actually shows up. And in my experience, when manifestations show up, they're quiet, they're fast, it's not dramatic, there's no fireworks. That's ironic because we're going into July 4th. Maybe there will be fireworks when your manifestation shows up. But this is what we're working towards, getting the physical manifestation in our hands, if for no other reason than we need to be taught that it's possible, that's where we're at. And I think that's a beautiful place to be. I say that a lot, but as we're learning these lessons and we're hitting these benchmarks, or even struggling to hit these benchmarks, we're still in a beautiful place of learning, growing, slipping, falling on our face. And that's why we came here. The whole Earth School thing is basically this, the Hanged Man. You signed up for limitation on purpose to learn your lessons and become wiser. I also look at this as a bit of a, I'm going to use this as the Hierophant card, but this wise person, that you're learning and growing into because of these difficulties that you're growing through. And it's okay because you put yourself here. So no one did this to you. This is not a traumatic event. It might feel traumatic in the moment, but you chose this as a tool to really level up your life very quickly. Because once this comes in the first time, then you have the formula. Then you know what to do. Then you can do it over and over and over and over again. And then life gets really fun and interesting. So here's to all our beautiful manifestations that are coming in whenever they are going to come in. Because again, some of the factors in the physical world that do still affect our manifestations are other people, timelines, things in the world that do just take more time. We might be ready for the blessing on Tuesday, but it ends up coming on Thursday or Friday because, business days, timing, the check just needed to get through the mail. Okay. So put that in your situation however it resonates. But I do think that there is a material money based thing here. And I just want to send a personal blessing to everybody watching this that your manifestations come in as soon as humanly possible. Because I truly believe that the more people, the more enlightened people that understand these principles of energy, that have money, that have this want, this drive to do good things with money in the realm that requires coin to move around, then we get to play. Then we get to have fun. Then we get to create that heaven on earth, collaborate with other people, make beautiful things happen, solve interesting problems in the world, and collaborate with other people while doing it. So it's a beautiful dance. And so I say, all the enlightened people that are learning and growing and slipping and falling, getting their manifestations only lead to more beautiful manifestations and more beautiful iterations of that in the future. And that's why we're here, to have fun, to play, to grow. So, okay. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a beautiful day or night. And all right, bye.